Hello. Some of you may know me. I was recently asked by two idiots to say a few words on their behalf. So, here goes. They're raw, unrefined, definitely rough around the edges. Apparently, they're all you're gonna need for the next 2 hours. Really?
Hi everyone, welcome to Something for the Weekend. I'm Andre, and today we're going to be discussing that age-old question: are most men only after one thing? What do you think, Roxanne?
Oh.
Don't answer that. Save it for the show. Stick around, everyone, because your views on this subject is going to be important. Maestro, run the rhythm. Okay, so with me today we have Roxanne.
Hi, everyone.
From the Juxtaposition Debate. We also have Big T from I Can't Make This Up podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back.
Oh, show. And Joey from the B3F podcast.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, well, we're about to find out. So, anything of interest happening to any of your lives besides the show?
Yeah, actually, I
Ooh.
got a promotion this week, actually. So,
Oh, did you?
yeah, I debated whether I was going to share that or not, but I guess anything interesting going on, yes. Aside from all the house projects, I got a promotion, which just means I'm going to be even more busy. So, but I will be working from home most of the time. So.
Oh, weren't you working from home most of the time before?
No, I was 100% in the office every day and have been all through the pandemic. I never was a work from home person. I had to go in every day. So,
Oh, didn't know that. All right, let's discuss that in more detail. So, I'm guessing that's a good thing, though, working from home more. Is it?
yeah, I think it will be. Yeah. My wife has said to me, though, you know, down there in your bar room where you podcast is where you have to set your office up, right? She's like, you can't be up here in my space and screw up my day just because you're working from home. Yeah. So I get it. I took a half day the other day without telling her and came home. And after I was home for about an hour, she was like, I looked at her and said, "What's wrong?" She's like, "You're kind of screwing up my flow of the day here." Because you're yeah.
Okay, yeah. Look, I'm eager to discuss the big question for the day, which is: are most men only after one thing? But yeah, before we do that, we said on the last show that we're gonna dig up some old photo of ourselves.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So the more embarrassing, the better. So, shall I go first, or does someone else want to go? How are we going to do this?
Well, I believe as the host today, you should kick things off.
Okay, that works for me. Give me a second to find them. Okay. Roxanne, I'll show you one first. Yeah. No. Okay. I'll do my one. All right. So this one. I don't think is too bad. This one, my better one. So let me quickly share screen. 1 minute. Why can't I see share screen? Sorry, guys. I guess you guys know you can't see it yet, but you're about to.
There it is. Here we go. There we go.
All right, so that's my first one.
Dynamite.
Oh.
No, I wasn't. No, I guess I think I must have been about 16. 16 at the time. So,
See,
So
smoking
that was what, 65 right there, Andre?
Get my boom.
16 years old and already sucking on a fag. Wow.
Yeah, young and what can I tell you? Young and silly. All right,
Yeah.
let's move swiftly on. So,
Should I want to make?
oh yeah, okay. Let me show which one. This one.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to show the youngest one of Roxanne.
Oh God. Oh.
Wow.
Why do you consider that embarrassing, Roxanne?
Yeah, he's so nice, isn't he? Let me just zoom in a bit. So
You don't need to see
you obviously
me.
can't see it
You
properly.
do not need to see me.
You obviously can't see it.
Right.
See, they've gone quiet, so that means they're being polite. They've gone quiet. All right, let me move swiftly on then. All right.
That's
All right, so here's.
I have questions.
I know you're asking about why did I risk it? Yeah, I risked it.
All right, you can take it off the screen.
Okay,
now.
all right. Let's move on. All right.
Hey.
Ooh.
That's my Superfly days.
That's what it says. A Huggy Bear right there.
What's the lowdown?
What it
Jack?
is, soul brother.
What it is. So T, what does he say?
I said, what's the lowdown, Jack?
Okay. All right, and then let's do. Yeah, I'll do Roxanne. I'm gonna do your wedding picture, and then I'll do my one. So this is Roxanne. I don't know why she looks a bit moody in this one.
Oh God. All right.
I got a few guesses.
Okay. And here's me with my best man. So that's about as good as my.
So
as my-
did Alice ever leave Wonderland?
Good thing that came out quite quiet, so hopefully not people can hear that. All right, and I'm gonna show. I've got a few more, but I'm just gonna show one more. And when I show this one, I don't want nobody laughing. I don't like if people laughing already. Why are you talking about it? Right, I'll just show it. There it is.
God.
My last one.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, it is. You didn't know if you want, You didn't know if you want to be Lionel Richie or Michael Jackson.
Really not scared.
Hello,
Okay.
is it me you're looking for?
Roxanne, you're doing too much now. All right, where's I'm trying to stop here. All right, that's it. I'm gonna see you now. Yeah, okay, you've had your fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I needed that.
Yeah,
that, man. It's
Yeah.
been a hell of a week for me, and that was the reprise to the catalyst to fix it all. Thank you, Andre and Roxanne. I appreciate that very much.
Okay,
very
let's
much.
move on, man. Go, someone else should show up their pictures, man.
All right.
Oh, okay. I'll go next. Okay. Now, these are going to go in chronological order. These are things from my life that I hold near and dear to me. So choose your words wisely. Is all I'm going to say. And I didn't choose these pictures. These pictures chose me. So that's all. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I'm
All
sure
right.
what that means. Can you share the link to the show?
I did that. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready. All right. So this is me circa 1988, 89, I believe.
Dates and everything.
I'm sorry.
You got the date and everything. You know the date and everything, do you?
Yeah. So I got good memory, compared to some people I know. And And this next one here is circa 1993. Okay, I need this thing to move. All right, this is me.
Wow.
This is me before glasses. I needed
Let's go.
glasses
Say you-
so bad.
You look like
And-
somebody pissed you off before you took that
Yeah.
picture.
Say what?
You said 1993, so it's basically what you did is you got on camera. You went Thug Life.
And yeah, so Mr. Magoo was apparently one of my favorite stars at the time, so I decided to do my best impression of him. Either way, people don't wear striped shirts like these anymore, so you can kind of tell what decade this is. You know what I mean?
What are you saying?
All
I got a
right.
couple of striped shirts like that still. Well, they're sweaters, but still.
Well, Joey, what's understood don't need to be explained. But anyways, now let's go to high school.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
What a pro.
Who is that on
Yeah.
your shirt? I can't tell you who that is on your shirt.
It's Allen Iverson.
That's you, Allen Iverson. Okay.
It's Allen Iverson. So I was getting my hair blow dried, and my sister saw my shirt that I was wearing. She said, "Wait a minute, I gotta get a picture of this before I do your hair." And she decided to, make me look like Andre at a younger age. This was 2001, if I'm not mistaken. So
Funny.
yeah, the early part of this current century, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
here we are, 21 years later, and pretty much don't look the same anymore. But I digress. Okay. And this next picture is when I met Clifton Powell, and I was getting over a breakup. So that explains this whole thing right here. I had a phone clip and everything, so it was bad.
Oh
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
I thought
And,
it was a gun butt. Get out of here.
No.
Oh,
The gun
man,
stayed in the
okay.
house.
Okay,
So
now I see why you got that name, as you said, Muffin Tops.
yeah.
Oh.
Actually, this was a few years after I got that name, so it is what it is.
You're squishing the guy in front of you. Can I just say, the little boy in front of you, he looks like you. Step back a bit, bro.
Actually, he squeezed in between us because he wanted to get in the picture. So it wasn't my fault that he got squished in the middle there. It just happened. You know what I mean? So he didn't. It wasn't my girth. It was his inability to not give us space. He should have gave us 6 feet. Really, social distance.
He should have stepped in front of you and blocked you a little bit. Just
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Joey. I was drinking that day, so all the rules and stuff went out the window. I was just like, "Hey, I remember him from next Friday. I'm taking this picture," and that's what happened. And this is me, in all my drunken glory as a youth. I was having a good old time, and someone caught me off guard. And got me with my drunk face and my jacket with the leather patches, as you can see. That was that was the thing.
Why do you have a Colorado Rockies hat on?
Oh, I just like hats.
Oh, okay.
At that time in my life, so I literally had a pair of shoes for every hat I had, and at that
Holy
time
crap.
I had 26 hats. And those were just like fitted sports teams hat. They didn't count like my fedoras and my top hats and things like that. So
fedoras.
Fedora.
Yeah, I had a couple of fedoras, a couple of Kangos. I had one top hat for a tuxedo night, and I made it happen. But
balaclava as well. Is that hat?
No, that's a mask that only shows your eyes.
Okay.
No, but yeah, everything else isn't embarrassing. So there you have it.
Okay.
That's funny.
Love it.
Nice.
All right. So
All right.
looks like it's my turn. So give me just a second here.
Let me see Joe as a punk.
You will for sure. Okay, so this is the youngest photo of me that I can find. I blocked out my mom and sister's face just protect the innocent.
All
Oh, I thought that was you sitting in the high chair.
Yeah.
No, that's my sister. Please don't cancel her for doing blackface. So yeah. The reason that this is embarrassing is because I'm wearing an Alabama sweatshirt, and I don't know why, because my family, we're all Tennessee fans. But that's why that shirt is embarrassing to me. So this, let's see, I'm assuming she was about 1 or 2 in this photo. So that would have meant I was 5 or 6 here. So yeah, so there's that. And now I'll go up to another photo. So this is right before I started my senior year of high school.
Oh Lord.
I like this one.
Yeah. So there's you
So
see that
what
hair
song
there.
is playing in the background right there? Is it Green Day?
It's
Is it
probably
Rob
Green
Zombie?
No, it's probably Green Day or The Offspring is probably what would be playing. Now, if I could zoom out, and I can't because I had to cut all these people that were my friends in high school out of the photo to again protect the innocent.
Okay.
I'm the only one that looks like this. Everyone else is a fairly quote preppy, and this was 98, so that preppy was the word at the time. So I was the only one of my friends, school friends anyway, that was going through their punk rock phase. All my other friends were just normal country people. So
You look like every high schooler from a 90s teen movie.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Except I'm not nearly as smart as the ones in the movies. So I was but anyway,
This
all right,
looks
so
like you could have been on Baywatch. You could have been on Buffy. You could have been on Seventh Heaven. You could have
Okay,
been
that's
on
fine.
the Wonder Years.
No, so this next
Blossom.
this next photo is a few months later. So this one was like summer 98. This next photo is like September, October 98. You can see because the hair's been cut.
Damn.
Oh.
So this was a homecoming day at the high school. And then this is the same day, but you kind of, I'm more sitting down.
Okay.
I'm
So you can
I'm
see
not
that
gonna lie, Joy. At
There's a southern
first,
look
I
in
thought
there,
that was what was Pam Greer's boyfriend name? Tommy Lee. At first, I thought it was Tommy Lee.
Oh,
Now you look like if what's the kid that plays Spider-Man? If he time jumped back to the 90s, Tom Holland. That looks like Tom Holland
okay. You
if
think
he
so?
was a time traveler.
So
Yeah,
if
a
you
little
see
bit.
right here, you can barely see it, but that's like I said, punk rock face. That's a studded leather belt, so it's just like metal studs all the way around it. Because it's punk rock. You're hardcore, so
Is that a puka shell necklace?
complete with the high socks. No, that is so that's like those metal balls. Give me a second, and I will. There it is. You can see it a little better there.
Oh, okay.
And then this is just some random piece of metal that I just stuck down on that necklace and wore around my neck.
Anal bees before they were anal bees. I got you.
Yeah, it's something. Well, I mean, if it tells you anything, that you can tell just how much I can take because those are awfully small. So, but this is also no. This may not have been. No, I'm sorry. This was not September, October 98. This would have been spring 99 because my ears are pierced, and I didn't get those pierced until January 99 when I turned 18. So yeah, so that is actually probably senior day or something like that. But yeah, earrings, and then like I said, the high socks, bracelets, studded belt. I've got a wallet chain on the other side that you can't see. So yeah, I'm telling you, like I'm still punk rock at heart. I just this is what 41 currently this is what 41-year-old punk rock looks like. And then here's the last. Go ahead.
I can't laugh at you there. I had a wallet chain.
See, there
I
you
had
go.
no reason having it, but I had it. It was just
I we used to get in trouble for that at school because it was considered a weapon, you know. And my studded belt.
What it says? Is that what it says? What, a wallet with a chain?
It's a wallet, and it's got a chain that then hooks to your belt loop, so like your wallet can't get stolen. But you know, when you're 18 years old in high school, it's because you're punk rock and hardcore. So, but this next photo is like 2011 or 12. It's Christmas time. This is when I was like a partial assistant youth pastor, and they did a Christmas party, and the theme was hipster, so everyone had to dress like hipsters, and there I am.
Oh,
I don't believe that for a moment. I think that's just an everyday picture.
It's not because I would never wear a hat like this that doesn't sit down on my head. I would absolutely wear this hat, but not this tight. It would, you know, and the mustache is fake because I can't grow a real mustache. But that is a velvet, blue velvet jacket, a scarf. There's a t-shirt on under it, and then like these plaid blue and red and white pants. Like I said, this was a hipster theme, so I dressed as hipstery as I could and took a bathroom shot because I knew one day I would be talking to people that didn't live through this part of my life. So,
so Steve Martin did a movie called The Pink Panther, I think.
Yes, he did.
And that's exactly who you look like with that mustache, Joey. I honestly, I can't see anybody else but you in Pink Panther 3. Where did I get this jacket from? Like that's the title of the movie.
You know, I still have this jacket somewhere in case I ever need to dress up like this.
So next time we show, you'll be wearing this jacket, correct?
I'll have. It will take a long time for me to find it, but I know I've got it somewhere.
It'll probably take you even longer to get in it, mate.
That's probably true. That's probably true. Yes, I'm probably about 10 pounds heavier than I was then. So
Kitty has claws.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
you look like a French pimp.
Oui.
Did she have your money, Joey? That's the question everyone's asking.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. So,
all right. Let's quickly get on to the views on the news. Let's not rush through this, but I want to really get onto the question of are most men only after one thing. So your views, if you guys and women are listening, watching, I really want to hear your views on are most men only after one thing. So let me get my views on the news. This one's called Embarrassing Stories, and it's short, but I'll read it out. I met a new business contact for the first time in a bar. Whilst talking, I dipped into a bowl of nuts at our table and popped a few in my mouth. They were the hardest nuts I'd ever tasted. That's when the contact I was with pointed out they were olive stones left by the person before us.
Oh, God.
And now they were in my mouth. I almost choked. That's it. Simple, but when I read it, I thought, I'm sure that meeting would have to be over for me. And once that happened to me, I just want to go home. I'm not really going to look to talk much more after that. So short, but I thought I'd bring it to you.
Oh, God.
Any one of you?
Yeah, so I've got one. So this is a couple months old. I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but since football season just started, it kind of made me think about this the other day. So last year Tom Brady retired from football. He played football, I don't know, 20 whatever years. He's the oldest player in the league, and he's more Super Bowls than any one team, any one franchise. I mean, he really is. As much as I'm never have been a huge fan of his, he really is probably the best quarterback to ever play the game. But regardless, so he announced his retirement this past February, and then there was an auction shortly after for his last the last touchdown he threw in football, and it was sold for $518,000 in March. In March, it was so $518,000. This guy bought this ball, But in less than 24 hours after that guy bought the ball, Tom Brady decided to come out of retirement and that he was going to play again. So that was now at that point is not his last touchdown ball, right? He's going to throw another one for sure. So, so a lawyer for the unnamed buyer said that the guy was the buyer was very unhappy about him coming out of retirement, and that he wanted Leland's the auctioneering company that sold the ball to void that sale, and so they did. They voided the sale. He was able to not have to pay for that ball, but he doesn't get the ball or whatever. But he didn't have to pay for the ball at that point. Now, personally, I think that is a dumb thing to do. Maybe you ask to buy it cheaper, maybe is what I say. You ask to spend less money on it, because when you have things, memorabilia and things like that, what sells more is that when there's a crazy story attached to it. So that's a hell of a story attached to that ball, where you could that should, in theory, in a few years, make that ball worth more than you paid for it. But regardless, how would you feel though if you bought something like that and then he came out of retirement right after? I mean, literally less than 24 hours later, he came out of retirement. Like, would that upset you, or what?
Definitely. I think
that would make the ball worthless, right?
Knee-jerk reaction, and that would be my knee-jerk reaction. I want my money back. You know what I mean? I didn't buy it under these circumstances. I want my money back. Yeah. So
I think
he might have thought about it, as you said, and went for.
I think my knee-jerk reaction would be the same, but I think if I could calm myself down to think about it, I would think, well, there's an actual story attached to this ball. You know, with that kind of situation, you could probably even get Tom Brady to autograph it by like saying, "Hey, sorry," or whatever, and autograph the ball. I don't know. I think honestly, you could sell that ball after a couple of years. After a couple of years, I think you could resell that ball for more than you paid for it, just because there's that crazy story attached to it. So,
it could be.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah.
T.
You know, I think that without people being just the unique people they are, we wouldn't have such crazy things that happens in this world, you know. And I got to take the time out to appreciate that this lady who put an anonymous posting out in Illinois that she needed somebody to make her husband disappear, and so that she can increase the money in her bank account as a way of anonymously hiring a hitman to kill her husband for the insurance policy. She then said, John Doe will be at address 619, and then they block out the street address, Chicago, Illinois, at such and such time, like he does every night. She then illustrates that she, Jane Doe, will be at her hairdresser like she does on every Tuesday, and that the person, if they feel as though they are up for doing this anonymous job, they can find the key underneath the mat labeled Dinosaur's Home in the backyard. And the lady said she was so confused because she didn't know how an ad came out with her address, or how the person used her debit card to make this ad for these heinous acts, right?
Of course.
Right.
And when she got pulled into the into the police department for questioning, she asked, could she fill out a police report for her lost credit card before anything else could happen, before she could be questioned or processed, because she wants to know how this happened and how she ended up in this predicament. And the funny thing is, the person they believe was going to do the job actually was the one that called the police on her because of the money negotiation, you know, because she kept throwing his name out there, but that was actually the 911 caller who called in the tip about the ad. So, you know, I appreciate stuff like that, because if it wasn't for people like her, we wouldn't be listening to interesting dumb people on days like today. So thank you, Jane Doe of Chicago, Illinois.
I don't know what to say. Because you don't know till you tried, I guess. But still. All right. Let me just drop this last one again, very short, before we get into the question. So this one, it says, yeah, whilst visiting my son at uni, I saw his laundry basket at the bottom of the stairs with a shirt I had washed just yesterday. It looked clean, so I grabbed it to check, as I ain't washing it again if it's clean. And just as I'm taking a deep sniff, his roommate comes out of his room and we make eye contact. He's got this look on his face, and then I realize I'm holding a pair of underpants. Turns out it's his laundry basket, and he's on the way to the laundrette.
Wow.
He turned and walked back into his room before I could explain. I never said a word to my son or my husband about it, but I've often wondered how that conversation went between my son and his roommate, how that went down.
Signed, Roxanne.
So what you do is it?
I honestly,
So, yeah,
I bet that guy didn't tell the son. I bet you he's just holding on hope that the mom was going to show back up again so he could shoot his shot. I mean, I'm kind of surprised he didn't take a chance right there while she's smelling it.
Dear, the shock of it all. So I was going to ask you guys if any of you got caught, sniffing something that you shouldn't have. But so I'm not going to ask because Big T's always got a story.
Well, who was it that told
Excuse
the
me?
story? Somebody told the story a couple weeks ago of the guy who was sniffing women's butts in the
That was me.
clothing store. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
You see?
He was a vet though. He had it down to a science. He had the timing. He had the direction to avoid eye contact and everything. He was a vet, like I said. But no, I've never got caught sniffing anything I shouldn't be sniffing. If anything, giving a odd face to something I smell, I got caught doing, but they shouldn't have smelled like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Yeah, viewers, today's topic are most men only after one thing. So yeah, drop your comments and let us know what you think. So T, are most men only after one thing?
No. And I could go into more details, but I want to give you a definitive answer of no, just for the beginning of the show.
Okay, well, it's refreshing to get a definitive answer from you because normally, you've got a bit of a spiel and at the end, sometimes I'm not quite clear, but I think you've made it quite clear. So, Joey, what about you? Are most men only after one thing?
No.
You're just saying that because you're married?
No.
Okay.
I think you're more likely to be. I think you're more than likely to be after that almost exclusively when you're married. I mean, but no. I'm just kidding. No, but no, I truly believe that. So,
Okay. Roxanne, what about you?
Well, first of all, I'd like to give a comment made by Helena Costa Diamond.
Okay.
She says, real men are not looking for just one thing. Okay, that's her response.
Yeah, I always wonder about that statement, real men. What are the other guys then? Are they not real men as well? They may not be men as as some people think they should be, but they're still real men. I mean, I don't hear much talk about women that are not real women. We talk about women in different levels, but we normally.
you could never say that. You could never say real women.
But that's anyway, sorry, I digress. Sorry, Roxanne.
Well, so a man could never say real. I should say that a man could never say real women.
Yeah.
Women can say that all day long, but women are also treat women worse than men do a lot of times.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that's a topic we can.
But real men. That's an interesting one. I mean, the women that actually hook up with those men that aren't real probably feel like those men are pretty real. So,
I think what she meant by that statement is the standard that they put on what's defined as a real man. So basically saying it's levels to it, honestly. Like saying if a man wanted just one thing, he would be up in front about it and not disguise it or hide it, just to let it out later on.
Sure.
At least
So
I
if he's
think that's
upfront
where she's
about
coming
it-
from.
All right. So if he's upfront about it, is he a real man then? Even though he still only wants the one thing, if he's upfront about it, is he a real man?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No.
By that terminology. I was just
Yeah.
giving you.
Sorry, Roxanne, but yeah, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, Helen has come back. She says that this applies to women too. And however, we're talking about man.
Yep, Helena. I'm not going to argue with that. Although at some stage, I'm hoping we can wangle it around and bring women into it too. But yeah, for now, we're talking about men.
Well,
So
I mean,
back to the question.
Well, this is
So-
a question.
We could talk about women too.
Yeah, of course. That's what we do.
so I mean, do I think most men are only after one thing? No, I don't think that. But I do think most men are after that one thing. They're just not only after that. So,
Yeah.
but I definitely think some men are only after that. I mean,
I'm going to come back to what Joey said. But I'm not sure I got the answer from you.
No, I was going to say that that's a question that us women have, or a line that us women have been saying for years.
Yes.
And especially if we've been burnt before.
Sure.
I think that with these popular dating apps like Tinder and things like that, which I understand that mainly men use. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree.
I'm assuming it's not mainly men because I'm assuming they've got to find women.
Yeah, but I think that the men use them more than women.
Well, we can ask Big T later because we know that. Yeah, he's got it on the down. But yeah.
Well, I would say that yes, initially the main reason why men hook up with women is basically for sex.
So the question:
yes.
Are most men only after one thing? What's he saying?
Yes.
Yes. And yet you've got loads of men in your friend zone.
But they're in my friend zone. They're in my friend zone.
They're in your friend zone. That doesn't mean you're in their friend zone.
Thank you.
Yeah. No. Well, I know what Joey means.
It works two ways. I mean,
No. Yeah, I don't think you understand what I said, Roxanne.
Oh, right.
Yeah, exactly. I understood, Joey. I understood.
I know you did. You look at them as just a friend, and that's a
Right,
good thing. But they're not looking at it like that. They're looking at you. They're looking at you as a friend that maybe they have a chance with at some point.
But what's interesting is that Roxanne says that she believes that men are only after one thing. So even though you got them in a friend zone, you know.
Right, yes, I know. Just like I know the sky is blue, the grass is green, but it takes two to tango. If I'm not interested, then nothing's going to happen.
Okay.
But if you knew that they were interested, hold on a minute. I got a question. If you knew that they were being your friend because they thought maybe they've got a chance, would you continue to be their friend since it takes two to tango and you're not interested?
Yeah.
Even though you know that they've got ulterior motive.
Right. No, that's just it, right? Not everybody finds me like attractive, like I don't find all men attractive. Right. So these guys, just because they're in my friend zone doesn't mean that they could just want to be my friend.
No, but we just established that most men
a friend zone and somebody being a friend is two different things in people's categories, because a friend zone could mean I'm the next runner up in case your current situation slips, fumbles, or doesn't work out. And then there are people who are actually just friends, platonic with somebody. So if you're saying all your male friends are in the friend zone, that's one thing, and that's something totally different in their minds compared to what you believe what a friend zone could mean to them.
So yeah, later on we got to discuss how to clean out your friend zone.
As I've said before, I've got gay friends in my. They certainly don't fancy me.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Look, I mean, that may be the case.
It is a spectrum.
That may be the case, and I can't speak for gay guys. But here's what I can do: speak for every single straight man in the world, and every single. And I need to emphasize single. Every single straight man would, if given the opportunity, sleep with their female friend. And
Okay.
Really?
yes, every.
Well, we're gonna come on to all of that, so that's
Yeah.
interesting as well. But
95%, not that last 5, to be quite honest, but 95%, yes, like
Cool.
without a doubt.
Yeah, enough that I feel
quite
comfortable
a few
saying
that we got to get rid of them.
every straight single man. Yeah, every straight single man would sleep with their female friend if the opportunity arose.
Okay.
I've got a couple of comments. Audrey Haynes says,
Oh, Audrey's here.
yep. She says, yep. They are looking for one thing. Physical attraction is the initial attraction.
Yeah, physical attraction is initial attraction, but
Yes.
Audrey says they're looking for one thing. Oh, so she's saying yes, she's agreed. Most men are looking for the one thing. Okay.
Yeah. Anzan says, no, I do not think men are always after one thing, although it can sometimes seem like that a woman who seem like that to women who are on the receiving end of men constantly trying to hit on them.
Yeah, I think these women who, when men are constantly trying to hit on you, I was going to say you should take some of the blame, because if you weren't so attractive, then
oh Lord, we're victim blaming and assault all at the same time here.
Yeah. I mean, you could look at it as a compliment. If you're always being hit on, that could be a compliment.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it that way. Sure.
You're being hit on.
You're being hit on regularly because many people find you attractive.
Well, look, far be it from me.
And also, that person doesn't have impulse control.
Yeah. Well, far be it from me to, say or pretend to understand what women feel or whatever, but I think you should feel at least a little flattered when someone hits on you. Now, if you tell them you're not interested and they continue, then that's completely different. But if a man just walks up and says, you're very attractive, I'd like to go to dinner, or I'd like to take you out or whatever. And again, I don't know what that feels like to be a woman. There's safety that could come into play and things like that. I get it. But I think you should feel a little flattered, but if it continues after you've turned them down, that's a different story.
So I agree fully with that. I agree fully with that. Okay.
I mean, it's one thing to feel flattered, and then it's another thing to feel aggression. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I've had this woman come up to me and say, I guess because of my beard, what that mouth do, and I just was like, why, how, hello, your name? Like, come on, but that's something that you would want somebody to be open with, but an unprepared person will be caught off guard. But they're saying this is how, what is it? What is the feeling that men get when they smell pheromones? It makes them more, I guess, dominant or aggressive or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's vice versa with females. You know what I mean? So it's just that's something that you want in mind, but in reality, it throws you off if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, I was in a club once. I'm gonna tell you this. I was in a club once, and my ass got grabbed from behind, and I'm talking about a real grab. And as I spun around, there were 3 women behind me, all with their arms crossed, looking me in my face. And I looked at them, and I didn't know what to do. And the truth is, I just turned around. I just turned back around. I went to another week after. I couldn't find it. They never did grab my ass again. But but my point is that at the time I was, I guess, I don't know if it was intimidated or just surprised by the whole thing. But
well, what can you do as a man? What can you do in that situation?
You knew better than to say the wrong thing in that moment.
Well, they looked like they were ready to go all the way, mate. Yeah, they didn't blink an eye, didn't smile, nothing. They just looked me right in my face. Now I just turned back around.
Maybe they just saw you. Maybe they saw you get out of that car that you were driving.
Joey. Yeah. So, but interesting what Joey said before. He said that because when I asked the question, are most men only after one thing? That really the question isn't are most men only after one particular thing. The question is really asking are most men after sex? The one thing is sex.
Yeah, I mean, I took that question to be, are most men
Yes.
only after sex? And I think most men are after sex. I just don't think they're only after sex. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So T, would you agree with that then? Most men are not after only sex, but most men are after sex. Most men. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Um, uh, I think as a bottom line, you know what I mean? Like if anyone's after, to pursue somebody, but you also looking at it from like you just can't just have sex. You know what I mean? Because I've had this conversation with a couple of people over the past week or so, and from 90% of the females I talk to, they agree before I even finish the sentence, before I even put the question mark on it, because that's what they initially feel from the situation. But if that's the case, then why would a guy ever get into a relationship when he could just simply pay for sex?
I don't know. You've asked your question there because you said yes, and then you've asked the question why. So let's first clarify then. So we're all in agreement then that the prime directive for men when we approach women is sex. I mean, how is this sounding for all those listeners out there, unless they already know that? I mean, are you agreeing with that? Especially as a single man, T. I mean, I don't know if this
No,
is going to hurt your.
I
Sorry.
was saying, do most men want sex? Yes, but do most men only want sex? No.
Okay. Yeah. I think. Um, Yeah, I think most of us are in agreement that we don't only want sex. I think the question for me wasn't asking it quite like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most men are greedy. We're going to want more than just sex. So yeah,
Hmm.
sex is the only thing. But again, just to clarify, yeah, you agree then that when you are out there and you meet a woman for the first time, your prime directive, the main thing that you want, the first thing that you want more. The first thing that you want, the main thing that you want is sex. Yeah.
No, not me.
Oh,
No,
I
No,
thought
I
you
don't think
just
that.
said that most men are
No,
after sex.
no.
Right.
You
I'm not.
said the
I'm not most
primary. You
men.
said,
I'm an anomaly. So
yeah, but you also said that the primary objective is sex, and that's where you and I disagree. I think that's
Oh.
an objective, but I don't think it's the primary objective.
yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm,
then, so what's that?
I'm going to say I'm confused.
Well,
Go
So,
ahead. Go ahead.
what is the primary objective then in your
yeah, because
eyes?
yeah,
To find out more about this person.
Compatibility.
That's what I
Okay.
think most men's primary objective is to find out about this person, get to know them, get to the next step, which is whether it's going out, having a drink. If you're at a bar, let's just say you're at a bar, you see somebody, you walk up, talk to them. I think your next step is what you're wanting to get to, which is let me buy you a drink, and then let's talk, and then whatever, and then eventually you are going. The next step is going to be I want to sleep with this person. Now that's not to say that person seeing that person doesn't also think I'd like to sleep with this person, but that's not the primary objective. I don't think. I think for most men, I think there are definitely men out there, their primary objective when they see a good looking woman is I want to sleep with them and then I need to slip out while they're sleeping or whatever. I mean, I honestly think there are men out there that do that. I just don't think it's most men.
see,
For me, I want to know how your mind works. Can you hold a conversation? Can
Yeah.
you, you know,
He walks up to the woman
entertain?
and goes, "What that mind do?"
that's why I'm letting you guys talk. That's why I'm letting you guys talk because I assume that when you see a woman across the road and you decide to walk over to her, I'm assuming you do that because what you see, you think it attracts you. You fancy what you see.
Yeah.
Am I wrong
Sure.
or am I right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's sexual attraction. That
Okay.
doesn't mean, or
Oh,
it doesn't
okay.
mean,
So,
it doesn't
hold on.
mean, just because you're attracted to them doesn't mean you immediately go to, I want to sleep with this person.
Okay. T, what about you? You agree with that as well? When you cross the
Yeah,
road to someone, it's because you fancy him. But same thing you're saying. You fancy him, but it doesn't mean you want to sleep with him. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, because you can just smell the toxic coming off some females. You know what I mean? So, and of course that's like judging a book before it's covered. But sometimes you can just tell, just off physical ecstatics, what type of person she might be. You know what I mean? And that's just from my experience. I'm not saying that's the case with everybody. I just know from my experience, sometimes you can tell, by the way that person carries themselves or how they talk to somebody, that you notice from a distance that this might not be somebody worth sleeping with. Like, you know what I mean? Like it
Face
might
tattoos.
cost. No, not necessarily face tattoos, but
For me,
it might
I
cause
know what's up.
it
If you
might
got
cause
face
you more
tattoos, for
trouble
sure.
than it's worth. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because I've had great physical memories with somebody who decided to put their hands on me in a non-pleasurable way. You know what I mean? So it
Sure.
wasn't worth it in the end. You know what I mean?
No, you need to elaborate. They put their hands on you in a non
Well,
on you, not in you, on you. Yeah.
Just a few moments ago when Roxanne assaulted you. That's what he's talking about.
No, that could be
Yeah.
pleasurable.
So it was like this. We would do the vertical monster mash, and then a chemical would leak into her brain that says punch him in his face while he sleep, and then she would act on that chemical.
I don't think
And
there's
it's
a chemical.
like,
I don't think there's a
Do the
chemical.
job
I think
the
that's
way
a
she
demon.
wanted.
Jesus,
Maybe
punch
she
him in
was
his face.
upset.
She probably had a dream that you was cheating on her. That's probably
so that was one. That was one of the things, stuff that I can't control. That's apparently, has control over your common sense. You know, you said something that reminded me of someone who hurt me from the past. Well, you shouldn't be dealing with me. You obviously need to go heal before you interact with anybody in an intimate way. And then let some people know that. Don't just hide that from them. Don't spring on your baggage, after intimacy, because that, it creates more problems than, it's worth. You know what I mean?
For sure. So,
I was gonna say, would you guys approach a female that you wouldn't consider as attractive?
approach them for what?
You mean for sex?
Just to get to know them, as you said.
I think there's more goes if they look like somebody that would be fun to hang out with or whatever, then maybe. But if I just see somebody and I think they're ugly, then probably not. But I'm also pretty introverted that way. Like I'm not gonna approach most people out. If I'm just out in public, I'm not gonna walk up and just start talking to really anybody, honestly. So
yeah. I still don't have to admit, I don't quite understand it. You said, and I think T agreed, that you approach people if you think they're attractive, if you fancy them. But nevertheless, if you fancy someone, that doesn't mean you want to sleep with them. And
no. It doesn't mean that you are only after that. That's the thing. Because the question is, are men only after sex? Are most men only after sex? And I'm saying you can be attracted to someone, but not only be after sex. Because you can be after multiple things. You could say, I want to hang out with this person, I want to get to know this person, I also want to sleep with this person. And that to me is a much healthier, more what most men are like, rather than just going, she looks good, I need to sleep with her, and that be the end of it.
So just clarify to me again, when or UT, because I'm Jay's asking one of the questions. UT, when you meet someone, then I guess we can't even mention Tinder, like Roxanne said, because I'm assuming on Tinder, yes, that is just a sex thing. Men are on there just for sex. Or am I wrong there as well?
No, I think it's probably a high percentage of men on Tinder that are looking to hook
Yeah,
up.
but that's exactly what certain dating apps up for. Like dating is parentheses for sex for certain dating apps.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
That's the go-to mission. But in my experience, just because that's the picture they post doesn't mean that's who they are. That could be high school them. and
Right.
then they're not showing adult them. Like
Right.
I've had my experience, so with the dating apps and being catfished and stuff. So it's like, okay, I can get the truth out of you. We just gotta, put you in a situation to where we can both visually see each other. You know what I mean? Because to me, if your mind is right and you take me to a place where I feel like we vibe and the conversation could be endless, then technically it doesn't matter what you look like. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the lights will be off and you know we could do us. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
yeah, so it really it depends on the situation because yes, if you're on that app for some reason, but even still, a lot of people don't put that out there, and some people do. In my profile, I'm not looking for friends. I'm not looking to hang out. I only want this and this only. And not everyone is open and honest like that. You know what I mean? So it's rare that you could find that situations. That's what creates a lot of problems that spawn these questions today.
Okay. So again, what you're saying is most people are on there for sex, but they don't always upfront to say so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So a couple of questions here. Yeah. If a woman could, she couldn't cook, would you still could consider her for a long-term relationship?
If a woman couldn't cook,
Yeah.
Is that the only issue?
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it depends on if
sure.
that's a prerequisite for a relationship with this woman. Because if she can,
That's a trick question. That is. What's he talking about prerequisite?
No,
if you
for
meet
you,
someone-
T, does that matter to you? Like, if you're answering for yourself, if a woman can't cook, is that a deal breaker? I guess for you.
no. No, as
No.
long as she has the ability to learn and not just be stagmatic in life, then no, because I can teach you to cook. I cook very well, because some people can be like, I don't care the things she does in the bedroom or the fact that she know how to, change an alternator. Doesn't matter if she could cook a turkey or not. She's helpful. You know what I mean? She
Sure.
balances things out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
she's a vegetarian. If she's a vegetarian, would you still consider her for a long-term relationship, or is that a deal breaker?
that's a little trickier than the can't cook thing.
No, as long as she can respect the fact that I'm going to be a herbivore for the rest of my life, then I won't have to put her out. No, that's
Yeah.
cool.
What if she's got a leg missing?
We get discounts and get the park up front. What you talking about? Where's the problem? Where's the problem?
What that stump
I
do?
I see pluses. You know what I mean? Plus, when you ain't got to worry about certain things and positions and stuff like that. You just got to be careful with certain jokes.
So looking at the plus side. Looking at the plus sides. All right. So, what if she took a lifetime vow of celibacy? Would you still consider her for a long-term relationship?
No.
Open marriages work.
You see, that's what I like. That's what I want to hear. Just straight answers.
No. No.
No, because of who I am. She would
See,
have
you guys
to
just finished telling me about all these other reasons, all these other things that are important. But as soon as I mentioned sex, no,
sure,
no,
but
no.
The thing is
no. But you
no.
you said cook, and then you went on to list these other things that drove
No,
back
no.
to what you said is the main reason, right? But if that's me, and I personally am a person who needs that to quote unquote survive, right? You know what I
Say again.
mean?
What did you say?
I said
Did you
I'm
say
the type of
needs sex and
person that
survive?
needs that to survive. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
then
I'm
that's probably the majority of men think the same way.
no, that's not true because there's some guys who
I don't know. I think the majority of men probably think that way.
Exactly. So
okay,
again,
put
my
it this
point.
way. If that's the case, right? Then what about those guys that you hear that only have sex once a year or on
But
special occasions?
that's not normal.
Hold
That's
on,
not normal.
hold
I've
on.
never even heard of those guys.
Or
Who are those guys?
that have to go to their man cave to get one off and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying? Like they no longer find their significant other attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like those situations yes, you're saying that they're rare, but they do happen, and they happen more often than not. So
Yeah, but-
that creates the problem where a guy has to step out of his, his household or his marriage to get what he's always had.
Exactly.
Why
That's
would
how
I
important.
go?
That's how important sex is to him. He'll
Yeah,
step out
but-
of his marriage. He'll do what he can.
Okay,
to get it.
but why
but-
would somebody that loves you with all their heart and soul, who made a vow to them in front of God and all of these witnesses, put you through that? And I understand that women can, do what they want with their body and everything, but why would you put somebody that you love with all your heart and could be the father of your children, your provider, and your protector through that without, you know, doing something to offset it, or understanding that it might not work or work out, or it could cause problems, long-term problems down the line?
Yeah,
I have
I
no
get
idea.
that. I mean, but I kind of disagree with both of you. I know you said that those scenarios you laid out, T, that those happen more than we think, but they're still not the majority. That's a very low percentage in the in the grand scheme of things. But I also disagree with you, Andre. You said then it's a very important thing. It's like, it can be very important, but that doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're after. And the question is, are men only after that? But
Again, yeah.
I mean, you asked the question, is it a deal breaker if a woman can't cook? And for me, the answer is, if I'm single and I'm looking for someone, the answer is no, that's not a deal breaker. If she is missing a leg, no, that's not a deal breaker. She's taking a vow of celibacy and I'm trying to decide if I want to date her or not, yeah, that's a deal breaker. But ask me if that's a deal breaker and I would leave my wife if she took a vow of celibacy. The answer is no, I wouldn't leave her for that. But I would say we need to really dive into some therapy and try to figure out why it is you feel like you need to do that, because we are in a relationship and that's part of a healthy marriage. When two people are capable of doing it, is part of a healthy marriage, and we need to figure out what's going on, and then we'll go from there. So
Right, we need to go to a break, but before
Yes.
we do so, I'd just like to read out something that Sandy Smith says.
Good.
Most women need that to survive too.
Yeah,
It's a matter of building trust, give and take, and feeding your love relationship every single day.
Well put, Sandy. Well put.
All right, we'll be right. Yeah, we'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, show.
It's the Indiana's music video show, playing all the best soul music videos, and it's better than the radio. So sit back and enjoy the show. It's the Indiana's music video show, playing all the best soul music videos, and it's better than the radio. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Keep it grown, it's sexy. We ain't playing no games. Tell me what's your love language. You can fill in the blanks. Touch me, tease me. No, my name is not Case. Indie Artist Music Video Show. Let's watch it at my place.
Welcome to Soul TV, and we are now streaming live on Television 2.0. We will provide new TV shows such as documentaries, reality TV shows, talk shows, cookery programs, music shows, concerts, red carpets, and more events, and a whole lot more. If you would like to find out more or run your own stream television channel, check us out on the website. All right, that's www.stream.com. Again, that's www.stream.com. Soul TV on Stream Television 2.0. It's the station that gives you more.
Welcome back to part 2 of Something for the Weekend. I'm here with Roxanne, Big T, and Joey, and we are discussing Are Men Only After One Thing? Let me just read this out by prominent love therapist Dr. Sarah Thompson. And she states, generally speaking, if a man is happy to spend time with you doing a variety of things over time, and he doesn't keep alluding to sex or putting pressure on you to go back to yours or his, very quickly after you've met, he's probably not just looking for sex. I'm assuming you guys agree with that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Okay. She then goes on to say, although the chances are he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Sure. I think so.
Why not?
Okay. What should we go?
I was going to say, I'd like to read out a few bits that we had responses through Facebook, if I may.
Please do.
Right, okay, we've had a response from Natalie. She says, if a young man chatted me up in a bar and gave me his number, would I think he was after one thing? Well, that would depend on what he said and how he looked at me. But he'd probably be after my money or my daughter. As happened last Saturday, he was after the latter.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've also got a response from Andrea. She says, in my own experience, yes, I think men want sex, but I really can't bunch all men in one group together because it's not right to do that.
Thank you, Andrea.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Let me play this clip. See if you guys can hear this and see this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a day, yeah. Let's say I've seen like a few things. I had a few things on rotation, yeah. What I do, I see one in the morning, yeah. So like, let's say not in the morning, like 12 o'clock, lunchtime, yeah. She come through, yeah. Then she go around 5 o'clock. I got my next thing. 5 o'clock one would leave around 9, yeah. And then I get my next thing come through around 12.
No, you're actually disgusting.
Around 12, yeah. And then in the morning, I'd say like, yo, babes, I got to go work. Them times I don't even have a fucking job, bruv. You get me? Put on my clothes, everything like I'm going to work, yeah. Huh?
Why don't you just say, can you leave?
Because I'm not a horrible bastard, bruv.
Oops. All right.
So I thought we were done sharing old stuff, old photos and stuff of ourselves.
I know we all look alike, Joey. But
Wow.
No, not all of you.
It's so hard to intimidate Joey, you know.
Okay, so that was a guy who has a full roster and never wants to be left without, so he has to keep a full rotation going. And I mean, you can tell by the limitations that he's given as far as time constraints with each ones that he's spending with these women, that they know that he's either a busy guy or they're not the only one on the team.
I think he's just lonely and insecure.
I don't think he's got time to be lonely.
Right.
Not enough hours in the day. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not admiring those sort of guys at all or anything like that. Of course.
Are you not?
No, not at all. Not at all. As Joey says, yeah, he's probably insecure.
Yeah, that's right.
So I guess, do men and women want the same thing when they meet up? How about that as a question?
I think most men and women do if they're attracted to each other. Yes, I think most men and women do. Yeah.
I think that a lot of women don't know until, I mean, I've met a few women that say they know within the first 90 seconds of meeting a guy whether they'll sleep with him or not. But until like some type of interactions had with them two can converse and actually exchange, conversation and ideas, whether they actually would consider going through with it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes women can just find a guy aesthetically pleasing, but not really a fan of their personality. So they'll get the sex from him and then, block them or whatever and keep it moving till she finds one that meets all of her standards, I guess.
Okay. So to say most guys are after sex and most women are after love and security. Is that it? Would you agree with that, Joey?
Saying that most men are after sex, I agree with, but not saying that they're only after sex.
Sorry, but yeah.
So,
and for women, are most women after love and security?
No, with the rise of savage women, it's equal.
The rise
it's
of
equal
what?
Opportunity. Savage women. These women can be savages these days. No, savage.
What kind of women
Savage.
are you targeting?
No, he didn't say savage. I thought he did.
Oh, did you? Oh, sounded like savage.
Yeah, it did. I still didn't hear what the word was. Savvy.
Savage. No,
Savvy.
savage. As
Yeah.
in animalistic,
Oh,
as
it
Yeah.
in
did say savage.
vicious.
Okay, I thought I misheard, mate. Oh, it did it. Savage. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't want to know what kind of women you're dating.
Oh no, this isn't women I'm dating. I'm saying these are the women that are out in the world. Women that say that they would hook up with a guy, or they would, invite a guy over to their house, cook for them, like good meal, even offer a massage maybe, then give them some of the nastiest sex that they ever had before, kick them out the apartment, and then block them on all accesses, and go on about their day like they never met them.
But is that
Savage.
you said women? You're saying you know some women like that, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not most women, right?
I didn't
And
say. I
also,
said I said there's a rise of savage women who are flipping the script on what men did to them, and now they're doing it to men.
Yeah, I mean
and
that
you,
there's definitely been a sexual liberation in women over the last 50 years or more, and I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I mean, with the feminist movement, a lot of that has come around, and that's fine. If that's who you are and who you want to be, and you're comfortable with that, then more power to you. I think as far as that goes, but I still, I don't think most men are only after sex, and I don't think that there are women out there. I don't think that there are no women that are only after sex. So,
Okay.
it's
So let's say, just a scenario, right? You're in a situation to where you find this one female so physically attractive that you pursue her like you're Steve Urkel and she's Laura Winslow, right?
for sure.
And you find out, in order to be with this woman, you have to deal with all her neuroses, the fact that she needs constant attention and reassurance, and has some type of mental tick that can be annoying or brash, embarrassing, or whatever, right?
Sure.
And you mean to tell me you'll put up with that? And she has a vow of abstinence until marriage. You mean to tell me a guy will put up that for, let's say, 1 to 3 years to just have sex?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
No, I'm asking the question.
Oh,
oh, I see where you're going. I guess the answer to that would be no, but if he's unable to get it elsewhere, he may well stick around a lot longer than he ought to.
Who's to say he can't get it elsewhere?
Yeah, well, that's why he would end up leaving, because the plan would be that, yes, worst case scenario, I don't need this, I can get it elsewhere. But if for whatever reason he thought he couldn't, he may well stick around longer than he ought to.
yeah. Plus,
That's
Okay.
I was more of a Myra Monkhouse fan than a Laura Winslow fan. So
Hey, to each his own. All I'm saying is, you can't put limitations on what people are expecting, or what somebody might want in a relationship, because honestly, there are a lot of people who go through that, and because of the way that you know relationships ended prior to a woman meeting somebody new, that's what they expect. Like, they're putting those past pretenses on somebody that's in their future or in their current present. And it's like, logic is never a factor when it comes to a woman's emotions. And it's something you can throw out every time. Like, if you give her irrefutable evidence that she can't deny, she will still tell you she feels differently. And I have
well,
the years and the research to prove it, honestly. And I don't understand why it's that way, but it's true.
sure. I mean, and no, go ahead, Roxanne.
So I just want to read out two comments from Anne's. She says, there is also a rising number of single, lonely men who are genuinely looking for love and not just sexual encounters. They are amongst the long-term single men. There is an article about it in the Psychology Today magazine, August edition.
Yeah, I have to admit, I think Anne's definitely got a good point there, and that is something that I've been thinking about us discussing in the future, about the fact that there are a lot of I don't want to say lonely single guys, but single guys out there who are probably not single by choice. So yeah, I think that's a good point, and something I think we should talk about, explore on another day.
And she also says, a man like that, the one from the clip, some older men who were like that in their younger days say they now regret being like that as they have ended up lonely in older age.
Would any of you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, to them, they'd rather hold on to the memories of them never being hurt than then taking the chance of being embarrassed or feel like they've been used or something like that, which is understandable. It's just that's not the life choice of everybody. That's just for those individuals.
Yeah, but I don't think it's always that they've been hurt. I think, again, it's that scenario about your options. So some guys who were able
Okay,
to...
so you see a lot of guys who watch their mother or their father cheat on the other spouse and say, I'll never go through that, because to them that's what I thought like the ideal was, or the thought of a perfect relationship was, until you realize what was really going on behind closed doors. Like it could be that as well. You know what
For
I
sure.
mean?
Yeah, I'm not saying it couldn't be. Yeah, it could be a multitude of reasons, but I'm just saying not every guy who does that is going through some sort of emotional turmoil. Sometimes it's the old story. They do it because they can, and then what happens? They get to a certain age, and the women are just not available anymore, or women are now much more clued up than the 20-something-year-olds that they were dealing with, and their well runs dry. And then, yeah, a lot of them probably end up regretting that they didn't settle down with some of the decent women that they had in the past, and all those sort of things. So again, I think, yeah, Anzans makes a valid point in what she says about how they regret it as they get older.
Can I read out something else?
Please do.
Okay. Simon says, men may initially be after one thing, guided by the need to be attracted to a woman. But that lust morphs into respect and partnership if a man is open to seeing beyond the physical. Most men are, of course, open to the relationship beyond the physical, but there will always be the percentage of men who are only after one thing. The factors that dictate the degree to which men are only after one thing might be age, role models, and how they've been treated by women.
Okay. I think Simon...
Yeah, I don't have that comment. That comment's not showing up for me to be able to share.
No,
so sorry, Simon.
This is from when we posted it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Never mind.
So yeah, again, I think that's some valid points from Simon. So yeah, I concur. All right. So I think I've got a question here. What do you think for women? What do you think a guy wants when he walks over and introduces himself? So I think that ties in with, do men and women want the same thing? So I'll ask you that question then, Roxanne. Yeah, what do you think a guy wants when he walks over and introduces himself and basically tries to chat you up?
To be added to my friend zone.
That's exactly what I was fixing to say. To be in the friend zone.
Okay.
Let me tell you, that's the last thing on his mind. So you keep telling yourself that, because that's the last thing on his mind.
No.
Getting it.
I think that it depends on how the guy approaches the woman, is how she'll view it. Because let's say you approach somebody, you ask them their name, you might ask them their profession, and then you extend, the reason for you coming over. Hey, I'm doing a show. Would you like to be a guest? Blah, 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 blah. Because that would let them know that, even if the guy's coming to her in a professional manner and it's nothing, flirtatious or anything about it, in the back of her mind, she's still going to have to say, I'm going to assume this is professional, but there's always a chance like his real intentions might come out, right?
Sure.
But I think most guys will let you know up front, hey, how you doing? My name is such and such, and I think you're attractive. I would like to, have dinner with you or something like that. Can I have your phone number? You know what I mean? So, and then it's the people who have no game who would do that, who would like try to, let's say she's a model or entertainer, book her for a job and then, try to hit on her, before the job gets started or afterwards, someone who's uncouth in that way. So it depends on the approach and how you end that interaction.
So again, I'm sure I ask these questions again, but I don't quite understand why you would meet someone you don't know and you'd want to take them out for dinner. So just trot me through that. What's the idea of taking them to dinner? Why do you want to take them to dinner?
Because most people don't know what they want. So they'll just collect a phone number and then sit on it, just because they're socially awkward or something like that. Or they'll do it with the only conquest, and the only way they know how to make that happen is by dinner and a movie and things like that. When they could, simply have a conversation and get to know each other and let the attraction normally, just build up organically, opposed to it just being dinner, movie, bedroom, or whatever.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think that it's just kind of it's a step. It's a way to kind of get, not a step was the wrong word. I shouldn't have said that, but it's a way to get out of whatever you see them in a bar or whatever. Like if I'm in a bar and I see somebody, like it's going to be loud in there. Having a good conversation at that bar is going to be hard to do because it's going to be loud. And so it's just, and maybe rather than dinner, you might say like, let's go have some coffee. You want to get some coffee tomorrow or whatever, or right now we can leave right now and get some coffee, or go somewhere to a restaurant and have a drink or whatever. It's also, I think, to show that you're not only after that one thing, like you actually want to talk to the person and get to know them.
And we just said talk first. So the one thing's there.
Yeah, but it's still not the only thing, and that's the question.
Yeah. No, it's not the only thing, but it still appears to be the prime directive. But we want to talk first. We want it, but we want to talk first.
Well, how did what I say sound as though sex is the prime directive?
Because well, it's in your mind then. All right, but it's in your mind already. Yeah, you just met her, but it's already in your mind. Would you agree with that?
Quite possibly, yes.
No.
Yeah, well, so what else is in your mind then? So you just met her, you don't know anything about her, but we're already deciding that we're going to want to sleep with this person, but we want to take her for a drink or something first. Very, very gentlemanly of us, but it still seems to me that the prime directive is to sleep with that person. We want to get to know them. I'm not saying we don't want to get to know them. We want to take them out for meals. We want to do all these things, but we want to sleep with them.
No, because not everyone.
Eventually.
Yeah, but not everyone is hard up on sex.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's
not being hard up on sex.
I think you're reading into it too much. Honestly, I think it's
But yet you said first. You just met her, but you're talking about taking her for a drink first, and that's something you said. You didn't even think about it. That was something that you just said. So
yeah, because it's first before I decide if I want to be in a relationship with this person. I need to take them out and be able to talk to them before I even decide if I want to be in a relationship with them. At that point, I just want to get to know them to know if they're quote relationship material.
Okay. We're sure men would like you, Joey.
Yeah, that's very nice of you, but the world would not be a better place.
I think the particular category of people that Andre's I think trying to allude to is the guys who's going to put in minimal effort to get exactly what they want. You know what I mean? So they think that I guess the quintessential basics of showing fondness for a woman, and not just being chivalrous, like getting a meal, taking them to see some entertainment.
All those things, even though you want to sleep with the person, you can be all those things.
Hold on,
You
wait,
say what?
say that again, Andre.
I'm just saying, you can be all those things. You can be a gentleman. You can be chivalrous, as you said. You can be all those things and still want to sleep with the person.
Yeah, I think that I may have a misunderstanding of what the original question is, because I looked at the original question is the only objective that a man has is to sleep with a woman.
Yeah, I think we cleared that quite early on. That no, that is not the only objective. I think we cleared that
Yeah,
very
that's what
early
I
on.
was going to
It's
say. I
not
mean, because
the-
I don't think that's the only objective, and
yes.
I thought
So
that
so
that's
now I guess we're just trying to discuss: is it the prime directive? Again, I think most of you guys have said it isn't. So
yeah,
so
no, it's
then I'm
not.
just now trying to establish, in a nutshell, then to put it bluntly, where on your list is it? How high up on your list is it then? Or is it not even you? I'm talking about men in general. How high up on the list?
I think it's initially it's pretty low, because you need to find out if you actually even want to have a relationship with this person first.
You see,
No.
I
So
think
it depends on where that guy is in his life.
Sure, but I'm
Is
saying
right.
I'm
he?
just
That's a
basing
better
it.
answer. Now that's a better answer.
It
And
does
I'm
depend
talking
on
about
where
a
I got,
young
but I'm
guy.
talking about most men. I'm talking about I'm talking in broad strokes, as we do, that
As we do.
Okay,
most
most men are
mature
single.
men.
Most men are single, and they probably had maybe 1 or 2 relationships prior to them being single, right? So they, in their experience, depending on what they experience, they're either not looking for another short-term thing and looking for a long-term thing, but they also want, all those boxes filled, right? So they want to make sure that they're going to be trustworthy, and somebody they find attractive, and they also want to know if they're going to have good sexual chemistry. I think as an overall broad perspective, if you put it that way, yes. But in this particular scenario, it depends on where that guy's at in his life. Has he been hurt by women and he only wants sex and nothing more than just sex? Is he um, younger and looking to, not really experience and trying to test the waters? He might, date an older woman, he might date a woman his age, you know what I mean? And he has to fill that situation out, you know what I mean? Because he might have a good head on the shoulders and be like, okay, she seems like a person I could see myself with. I'll pursue her further than just, a sexual conquest. It could be a guy that's freshly divorced. He's going to want something younger, most likely, depending on how he's feeling, if he's went through his midlife crisis. And it's like, hey, I just want to watch her do splits on me and drink scotch and smoke a cigar and go on about my day. Or he might want something a little less tame, because he had that in the previous marriage, and he just wants somebody to talk to, and every now and then, give him a handy or whatever, so it depends on where that guy is in his life.
Both show. All right. So what if we flipped it? Is love the one thing most women are after?
Love, the
Or is
one
love
thing
the one
most
thing?
women are
We
after.
always savage. Is love something that most women are after, or are they after something else?
Yeah, I'm looking for an emotional connection. Yeah, so I would say, yeah, eventually love. I don't expect someone to meet me in the club and love me right away. As I remember asking you when we first dated, was it? Do I think you'll never love me?
Yeah, that's it.
I think I love you already.
It did the job, though. It did the job.
It
Smooth operator.
But
Let's
then,
keep bringing that up.
no, but then you told later that the only reason why you chatted about was to do the deed.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, maybe I did a bit harsh.
Roxanne was standing at the bar ordering a drink, and Andre walked up behind her, and as soon as she turned around, he said, "Hello, is it me you're looking for?"
In that leather outfit.
That's right.
Okay. Can we make that the first and last reference we ever make to that picture? Yeah.
Sure.
For me, back then, in those days, you were kind of like not a you had lots of women in your friend zone, and more so.
Yeah.
I think when I started dating you, one of the things that my mother said was that she made me aware that you had many friends in your friend zone, and she didn't think that I should take you seriously because she didn't think that you would be taking me seriously.
Right, yeah.
But I guess like most women, I have that trope thought that I wanted to be the man or the woman to tame this bad boy. So
yeah, I think the reason why I ask these questions because I think that a lot of the times sex or the want for sex, well, maybe not because we're older, but I think like T says, especially when we're younger, when we have more options. When you're younger, you're less inclined to be thinking about settling down, especially if you think you've got game and you've got options. You're less inclined to be settling down. So if you're not settling down, then what are you doing when you're talking to all these women? I think you're looking for. I'm not saying you're only looking for sex. I'm not saying you're looking to hit and run, but I believe sex is one of the main drivers. But also,
you're not looking for anything serious, nothing to tie you down, not right away.
Yeah, but what can happen though is that even if sex is the prime directive or one of the main things you're looking for, if you meet someone and then you find that you're getting on with that person and she's ticking other boxes, then your mindset may start to change. So in other words, that may not have been you may not have thinking about settling down long term with that person when you met them. But if you then meet with them and then find that they are ticking other boxes for you and you're feeling great when you're with them and you don't really want to meet other women when you're with them, or you think she's treating you right, and then you start to think, look, I don't really want to hurt this person. I think that it's a transgression, it's a slight change of mindset, as opposed to I see that person. I don't know. As a kid, I never saw somebody and thought, wow, I really want to settle down with that person. I don't think that's how guys think. I might be wrong, but I don't think, I want to get to know that person more. Yeah, sure. But part of getting to know that person isn't just to know what color they like or what food they like. It's about getting with that person when you're younger. That was my mindset. And I guess that's what I was pushing to.
I just want to say, read Anne's comment. She says, a powerful show. Thank you very much, Anne.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. All right.
So, I mean, you could meet a young lady that can be like potentially your best friend, somebody you don't find sexually attractive or whatever because of how cool or how dope of a person they are. You know what I mean? Like in the back of her mind, she might assume that, the same thing, or she could also say, one of these days he might slip up and confess how he truly feels or whatever, but that might not always be the case. I've had plenty of female friends for over 10 plus years, some since high school, and I don't have any sexual attraction to them whatsoever, just because.
And you've never had anything sexual with them?
No. Why would I when they put me in a position to bring so many other females my direction so I don't ruin a relationship or put myself, in a situation where things get awkward. Like, these are people I like, bring to my house and stuff like that. And, I don't bring females to my house just because of past experiences. So, you know what I mean? Like,
do you find any of them attractive?
You say what?
Do you find any of them attractive?
No, I mean they're beautiful black women or whatever, but I'm not
sure they are. I'm sure they are. See, my man's always sidestepping questions. Do you find them attractive?
No, because I know they.
And that's what I would expect the answer
and husbands.
Because if you did find them attractive, you'd want to follow through.
No, okay. Even if I consider them to be aesthetically pleasing, right? You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't matter because there are hundreds and thousands of women that live in my area that I could find aesthetically pleasing, right? So why would I choose to pursue ones that I've known for so long, even if they were available and even if they wanted me? You know what I mean? Because that's stupid. Like honestly, why throw it away just for sex? You know what I'm saying? This is a person I could put in a situation to where they control my books or watches my nephews or, know the secrets of the house of L. You know what I mean? Like, why do that when I could
No, you lost me,
simply
bro. Okay.
go find somebody on Tinder or, one of these dating apps who just wants to have the sex, and I can do that and go on about my day and not have to worry about it. That's an option you choose to have. If you want to do that, that's fine, but not everyone's going to make that decision because a lot more people, no. Common sense isn't common. I'll say that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, can I read out the last response that we received with regards to when we sent out the flyer? Tina Silva, alias Just Another Blonde from Luxor in Egypt. She says, if they can do that one thing well, then why not? We get to share them. Every woman needs a man who is good with his finances, one that is good in bed, one that can do DIY, and one who can have a sensible conversation with. And it's probably a good idea they don't all come round on the same night. I hear you, girl.
Do you now?
See?
I do.
Tina has
Yeah,
a
but my
roster.
friends
She
know.
knows the game.
Right. And as a matter of fact, Big T's going to be in my friend zone because all that he's talking tonight, he could be there. He's safe.
There's a room. There's a room for Big T.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's definitely room.
I'm canceling my trip to London for 2022. I just want to put that
Save me the job of doing it for you, mate. All right, so I've got a question here, guys. It says, what does it mean when a guy says he's not into casual sex?
He's gay.
Ooh.
Oh, that question has layers to it. I mean, did he just say it to her, or is that like in his bio?
Right. Exactly.
Either way, if it's in your bio, then you're trying too hard to make it sound like that.
Yeah. If
you just offer that up to another woman and you weren't asked, then you're probably trying too hard to cover something up. But if it's a conversation, someone actually asks you and you answer it that way, then it's probably true. You're probably not looking to just quote hit it and quit it. I mean, so
yeah, he might have a guy, who has some type of moral standard that he just won't sleep around, or it could be a trust and safety thing. Like, in order for you to sleep with this, I need to know that I'm the only person you're sleeping with, so you don't potentially bring any infectious diseases or anything, or drama into my life. So
sure, but I think
it depends.
Yeah, but if you're offering that information up free will and no one's asked you about it, then I think you're trying to hide something. So,
as a woman, I think this guy wants to try and get me to bed.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah Thompson, the prominent love therapist, she says this is a typical lie that guys use when they want you to believe that you're not like the others.
Yeah.
And deep down inside, they're hoping that this lie will get you to let your guard down. If a guy really isn't into casual sex, he would have no problems waiting for the right time before the two of you spend time in bed.
Okay. Yeah. Let me ask this question to the room, right? And I want your honest responses. If I told you I put women on a 90-day waiting period before sex, would you believe me?
Yeah, I would believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
I would believe it about you. I wouldn't believe it about some people. But
I'm assuming you're juggling though.
No. No, honestly. How about you, Roxanne?
Do I believe that you would wait 90 days?
And that means,
No.
in that 90 days, you're not getting it from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I don't believe it.
No, yeah, I was going to say big T.
Wow.
That's 3 months. That's quarter of a year. Get out of here with that talk. Don't believe him.
Wait a minute. When you say he's not getting it from anywhere, you mean that he can't take care of himself, or you just
Well,
say,
why
or you
would
just
you? Why
saying
would
he?
you? If you've got someone,
Hold on a
That's
minute.
that's a
I'm
false
just
economy.
saying,
That is right there.
if he's
To answer,
getting,
to,
if
to
he's
answer your
getting
question, no, Joey.
right, I'm just saying, like, if he's getting into a relationship, I can fully believe that he may have a policy that he will wait 90 days to sleep with that person. I'm just saying, I'm asking you, Andre, you said you're not getting it from anywhere, and I'm saying, do you include pleasuring yourself in that?
I don't even put that in the equation because
Okay, that's what I want to
for
make
a
sure.
guy
I want to clarify.
who has options and for whatever reason decides to pleasure himself instead is an idiot. What can I tell you? That don't make no
That's
sense to
true.
me.
Well, maybe you
That's
don't
true.
have maybe that the options that you have aren't an option every single day or every time you're in the mood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
yeah, that's
yeah.
true. But
Just say your significant other goes to bed and they're asleep and you all of a sudden you're in the mood. You're not going to go wake them up. I'm not anyway.
You're not?
Yes, he would.
No, no,
Yes, he
I'm
would.
not. I'm not going to. That's a surefire way to get rejected.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I
But
don't
then,
fear rejection.
Yeah,
then,
Or
yeah.
I
That's
don't
not your
the,
policy.
I don't
but
I
then,
don't
but you
I
can't,
don't
but you
fear
can't
it. It just
refuse
feels
it if she
selfish.
wakes you up at 2 in the morning.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Um,
it just feels
and
selfish.
I'm just saying though, but it's when the shoe's on the other foot, and she wakes you up at 2 in the morning. She doesn't care if you been asleep for an hour, if you got to
For
be
sure.
up in 3 hours. You have a
For
job to
sure.
do, right?
For sure.
It's always a
Yeah, it's
catch
got to run both
22.
ways for sure. But and I got no doubt about that. I'm just saying, like, for me, if someone's asleep and I go
Ah.
wake them up for it, yeah, I don't know, that feels selfish. I don't know, that does it does. But it's just the same as like if they're sick, and then you are
No,
in the
no,
mood.
six different. Six different. Six I
Well,
could hang
but
out.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
But hold on, but I still want to get back to T and this 90-day business.
why is that so hard to believe that he won't wait 90 days? T is a
What's hard to believe
sapiosexual.
is that he has options and he's saying he's going without, he's not doing anything for 90 days. For 3 months, he's not doing anything. And that's what's hard to believe. 3
Okay.
months.
I know my value. That's number one. Two, if I'm doing this as a part of my morals or whatever, that should let you know how much I value you as a person. You know what I mean? Because I'm taking all this time to learn your in and outs before, I get led onto the course. You know what I
I
mean?
fully understand that. Fully
And
understand
it'll also tell you what's important to the other person. If the relationship is important or if the sex is more important. Sure.
Exactly.
But I'm on your side, T. I believe you.
So I've been in that situation where, I threw it out there to see what would happen, and one lady cut me off, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Go do your thing. But I had another one that didn't, you know what I'm saying? And that made for it to be all more of a stronger bond.
Of
But
course.
not you know what I'm saying? Not everybody thinks about that. The simple fact that I, quote unquote, like she said, flipped it on her, made her more attracted to me. You know what I mean? And saying that it shows my patience, it shows my restraint, but it also shows that I'm not the type of person that only after sex. Like, a lot of people
No.
talk a good game, but can they show it? Are you, because you might be in a situation to where, your significant other might want to be abstinent for a while. And if you truly love that person, then you'll wait and you'll understand. And,
Of
either
course.
she
You have
goes
to.
back Yeah, but not everyone can do that. Like if I'm in that situation, like you have to be my soulmate. My soulmate would have to be the reason why I'm accepting this. Now, what I do in the private when she's not around, I don't want to hear any complaints because we're not doing anything. And I'm not saying like cheating on her. I'm just saying how I relieve my situation. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right. So,
You said you brought soulmate into it, so you've lost me now. So,
No, I'm saying for me personally, and I'm not
I
marrying
thought that was
anybody,
something you're doing
but
regularly, but you're saying that,
Yeah, that's what I
I
thought.
thought that was something
Yeah.
that you were doing regularly. Just that if you meet anybody you meet, nothing's going to happen for 90 days.
Right.
oh no, yeah.
Saying
That,
scenario. But of
that's
course, yeah.
that's a policy that I have put in place later on in my life. Yes, and it's either they get with it or they move on. It doesn't really matter to
But that
me.
means that you could end up not having sex for a year. That could happen. You could be with somebody after 60 days. She said, "I've had enough of this."
Okay, so
She goes elsewhere.
that's
You got to start. You got to reset the clock.
yeah, but that depends on if I'm pursuing a relationship. If I'm not pursuing a relationship, why would I wait to have sex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yes. At first, I thought it was just something that you were. It was a policy that you're doing, but yeah, it depends on the scenario. It depends on the person. It depends on what your plan is with that person.
No, that's like sitting on a train across from Selma Hayek, and she's freshly divorced and decides to fulfill one of my fantasies, and I say, I got this policy.
yeah, but what? Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on. All right, I like this. You're sitting across the train from Selma Hayek. She's freshly divorced, and she says to you, I'm just looking to settle down. I want to find a good, regular guy. Do you wait 90 days? Do you get in a relationship with her and wait 90 days?
My name will be Hayek if that's the case. Yeah. I'm waiting the 90 days. It's Selma Hayek. What are you saying?
Well, I'm just saying, but you want to get with her so bad. Are you willing to wait the 90 days to get with her to start the relationship? That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not hard up, but yeah, I would wait the 90 days.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with T on that. If I was single or anything like that, and I met someone and I thought we got on well, or I thought that there's a chance we getting well, but she's saying that I've got to wait. That makes perfect sense to me, or probably respect her all the more. So I understand the idea of abstinence for a period of time, just not as a policy for every person you meet. But I think you just said it's not for every person you meet. It depends on.
It's for every person he wants to have a relationship with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, really, honestly, in this day and age, I think that I think men should always be aware that that's a possibility. Like, there might be a stipulation in order to have a relationship or even just to have sex with somebody. You know what I mean? So never go in thinking it's going to be a easy run or a easy situation to where, you can do whatever and then or wait like a week or something like that. Or was it a 3-date rule, 5-date rule, whatever? You know what I mean? Like anything standard could come about the situation. So always be prepared. That should let you know whether you should take that person serious or not. You know what I mean? And by that, I mean, don't waste that person's time and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Okay. I've got a agony question here. Dear Andre, I'm a beautiful, independent woman with one child. My problem is that no matter how hard I try, I can never find a secure, stable relationship. So far, the longest relationship I have had lasted a year, and that was with my son's father. Even in that relationship, I felt that he only stayed because I felt pregnant after 2 months of dating. I normally have sex with a new partner within a week of meeting, sometimes on the first day, as I enjoy a fun and safe sex life. I also don't believe in making a man wait, as I see no point to it. Of late, though, I feel like men use me for sex and then dump me. I can't even count how many failed relationships I've had, regardless of my best efforts. Do some men approach you just for sex? And am I losing them because I'm giving it up too soon?
Oh, very likely. Yeah. Like I have one of my brothers won't have a relationship with somebody if she sleeps with him on the first night. And which my thing is, like, I'm always like, yeah, but you sleep with her on the first night. How, what if you didn't try to sleep with her? Would, maybe that would end up being a good relationship. And he's always like, she's willing to sleep with me on the first night, so I don't want to be in a relationship with her. Like, I get it, but you're kind of setting yourself up to never be in a long-term relationship.
I think there's a few guys that think like that. It's almost like a test. We want it, but if we get it,
but it's not your job to go out. It's not your job to go out there and start trying to test everybody. That's the thing. Like,
no. The job isn't to go out there and to test. The job is to go out there and try and get it. That comes right back down to what I said. The job is to go out there and try to get it. It's not really.
I understand
a test.
that, and
but the main idea is test.
If you're legitimately looking for a long-term relationship, then you're not going out there testing to see if the woman's going to sleep with you on the first night. If you're doing that, then that's what you are after. But I don't think the majority of men are.
I agree that if you're doing that, you're not really out there looking for a long-term relationship. If you get one, you might be happy, but you're not actually looking for one. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I've got Anzan's. I'd like to read out what she says.
Oh, great.
It's going back to Big T's question about abstinence. She says, it is possible as more men are practicing restraining themselves from sex. Abstinence is a topic men don't tend to talk much about publicly. However, the numbers of men who choose abstinence is rising as more men are seeing the benefits of abstinence. Loving the show. You are all unpacking this topic thoroughly. Thumbs up.
Thanks, Anzan.
Thank you. In response to that question that you asked, Andre, I found that women who end up in that situation, sometimes, because I don't want to say it happens all the times, but in some situations, guys put on this facade, and once a woman is emotionally invested, then she ends up in a place to where she becomes, a throwaway to the guy, or a victim to him not caring after all, him showing his true colors later on down the line. So it all depends on that person. Like, yes, of course, you take a chance when you give somebody an opportunity to get in a relationship with you, or just have sex or whatever. But it also depends on that person's character and how you carry yourself. You know what I mean? Because you can carry yourself with the utmost grace, but you can never predict that person's true intention until they actually come out. You know what I mean? And the same thing could be vice versa. There are women who see a man of a certain stature or offer a certain sustainability, and they form this facade to being this person. And then once they're in a situation to where a guy might be legally trapped in a relationship with this person, then they have to deal with them, for the next 10 years or possibly 18 to 21 years if they got a child. You know what I mean? So it's hard to sail, until a situation unfolds or works itself out, or someone, exposes their true intentions. I mean, I'm not saying it always happens, but it happens more commonly than you think.
Okay. It's interesting what Anzan says about number of men who choose abstinence is rising as more men are seeing the benefits of abstinence. Are there any benefits from abstinence?
Yeah.
I think
If you don't make love for a long period of time, when you eventually do,
it feels great.
A level of intimacy,
So
like recharging your batteries.
I concur with that fully. But what do you call abstinence? I mean, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Is that abstinence?
I think it's probably you call it abstinence if you're refraining from sex unless you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
You can still probably refrain from sex in a relationship, I'm assuming. Or
Yeah.
You can, but I'm just saying. I think that the men that are more abstaining is probably they're only having sex if they're in a relationship. They're not having casual sex. Probably, I don't know, or I mean, surely they're not waiting until marriage. But you know,
I mean, you got to look
not.
at it this way, right? With the creation of the roles and toys like that, you know what I mean? You got a lot of sexually empowered women who are giving men, putting them in a situation to where their standards they can never be reached. So it's like you know what I mean? Like, how could you ever keep up with something that's, you know, inanimate? You know what I mean? So it's just like, all right, do I wait, or do I, you know, go find something else? So
sure.
it all depends. You know what I mean? Like, the situations vary, you know, commonly. So it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to accept that and then, you know, just to have sex, or are you going to find something that works out just for you?
Okay.
Because it's not really a big deal if you have some type of restraint and patience. I mean, other people do it just because they had too much sex, and then other people do it for, you know, other reasons.
Yeah, I guess it's a timeline. I'm talking about a timeline, of course. Abstinence makes perfect sense, but I guess it depends what sort of timeline that we're talking about.
I
We're
mean,
talking.
it depends. You know, whatever that person has set. So there are some people um who set it for like marriage, right? So however long you decide, like you're in a relationship with somebody, you guys fall in love, let's say a year in, and then you plan a wedding for a year to 2 years out. You know what I mean? Just so you guys can see what it's like to be fianced and possibly live together, or if you're not living together before marriage, whatever. You know what I mean? And then to make sure that, you know, this is who I actually want to spend the rest of my life with, and then, you know, we do the deed. There's some people who, you know, just put a, let's say, 6 months on it, right? And some people last that 6 months, some people don't. Other people, 5 dates. 5 dates could be 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So it depends.
Okay. Because obviously, there's benefits obviously from abstinence, but I'm assuming that there's also benefits from two people in love making love as well.
Yeah.
A part of bonding and stuff like that.
It
Yeah.
doesn't just have to be two, but I understand.
I see. All right, last question because we've got time left. And it's something in the survey. What do you think is the number one thing most men want in a woman?
Say that one more
Respect.
time.
Respect.
What do you think is the number one thing most men want in a woman? See, because if you
I
say
guess
sex,
understanding.
then it
I
still
guess
leaves me with the same thing that that's what men want.
I say
understanding.
respect. Respect is what I say.
Yeah, I would say understanding, because
What do you think is the number one
if
thing most men want in a woman? Okay.
that's what they realize. They don't think about it at first, but that's what they end up finding out in the end. Like, to find somebody that really gets you and understand you, like your quirks and everything like that, that's priceless.
Well, according to this survey,
I was going to say, make a family.
according to the survey, the number one thing most men want in a woman is his penis.
Oh, gee.
Jesus.
Oh,
That's
God.
what it says here.
Okay.
That's what it says here.
It's time to wrap it
That's
up.
what it says here.
Yeah, really.
Yep.
Ugh.
And with that note, what should I say? On that note, yeah, I agree. It's time to wrap it up. So, any last thoughts, guys?
Yeah. I realized that There's some pictures I gotta burn and remove from the internet later on. So, thanks for this idea.
Oh, they're on this
Andre.
video. They're on this video. These are here forever.
Yeah. Like I said, this recording won't make it, but I hope you guys enjoyed the live show. Yeah, but just to go back on the topic, I think that I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you get into a relationship with somebody, don't base it off aesthetics. Don't base it off of any luxury items. Base it off that person and their character. Get to know that person before you decide to, let them, and come into your home or into your body, what I'm saying, or even into your mental space. Like, take time out to save yourself the heartache and the pain if you, just fall back and get to know that person before you decide to start anything up.
Deep stuff. What about you, Jay? What do you say?
I don't know that I could sum it up any better than that. But I will say, please go to our Facebook page, Something for the Weekend. Like and follow us there. We are on YouTube now. Please go subscribe to that as well. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks. I love doing the show.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. Lucky Jay's brought it up. So yeah, definitely find us on the Something for the Weekend Facebook page. But regarding the subjects I've got here, the straight answer, I guess, is no. Sex isn't the only thing men are after. I think we need to make that clear. However, it is, I believe, anyway, high on the list of what we want from women in the initial stages of a relationship.
Top five.
Sorry?
Top five, most definitely.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I'd also go as far as to say that most men at some stage of their life would have conducted themselves in a certain manner for the sole purpose of obtaining sex. So I'm not quite sure how people will take that, but it is what it is. So yeah, we've come to the end of the program. Thanks everyone for another great session. Thanks Roxanne, as always, for the time you take to help produce the show and all that you do.
Yep.
Thanks to you guys as always, just for meeting up. Thanks to Soul TV for giving us a platform to do what we do. And last but by no means least, thanks to all those who listen on the various platforms and watch us on the various platforms. Keep dropping your comments and your views because, as I keep saying, together you are in this case, the fifth host of the show. Joey, gonna say goodbye?
Goodbye, everyone. See you in 2 weeks.
You better believe it. Roxanne?
Good night, everyone.
Big T.
Till next time, everybody. Stay sexy.
That deep voice. Yeah, my name's Andre. If you like what we do, then as Joey said, check Something for the Weekend. Check out Something for the Weekend on the Facebook page and YouTube for more of the same. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a different host. Right now, we're about to cut and fade out. This was Something for the Weekend. It's been fun. It's been emotional. But right now, we're closing up shop.